haven't seen you in ages. There are forms at the front desk for contributions to both DAHU and DAHU political action committees. We'd love to have members who are not already contributing to pick up one of those forms. You actually can get them online at either of the websites, and then you can make your contribution that way. It's very, very important that we support the legislative efforts of our association, both at the state level and at the national level. We are in for a big rush for a Democratic president to be able to undo what we have tried so desperately to do for years. And still try. This is what the HUPAC form looks like, and this is the DAHU PAC. So it's really easy to tell the difference. If you've contributed via purchasing tickets today, I've been around to some of the tables, not all of them. The tickets are $2, 2 for $5, and 3 for $10. If your ticket is drawn at the end of the meeting, you got a $50 Visa card to use. Then there is something else on your tables. I'm going to do this at the same time so I don't have to walk too much, Steve. We do an annual drive for Brian's house. These are Brian's little red socks. Sometimes we do it at Christmas, but we do it also in honor of Valentine's Day. That's one of the reasons they're red. Put in whatever spare cash that you've not already contributed to the PAC. The change I gave you when we broke the bill, put it in a little red sock, leave it on the table, and I'll pick them up at the end of the meeting. Don't take the little red socks with you. We need to get them back to Brian's house. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. That's great. One thing I wanted to make you aware of, unless somebody else wants to give a federal update, that there's already been, the new Congress has already been a little busy trying to attack our health care. So if you don't think the stuff we're talking about, the DAHU PAC or the DAHU PAC is not important, you all have heard, as well as I have, all the talk about single payer. We think, oh, that's not going to happen. I really didn't think Obamacare was going to happen either. So something to think about. But the House Democrats have introduced 2 bills that are bringing back the 3-month maximum on temporary coverage. Remember, it was just made where we can do it for a year now, up to a year, I think 364 days actually. But now that's being brought back. So they're trying to get back where we're getting into this, where everybody's got to get it pretty much through the exchange of the thing. So keep that in mind. Those bill numbers, if you want to look them up, is House Bill 1143 and HR 1010. Looks like. Okay, so something to kind of keep out. Look for your Operation Shouts. That's the other thing we do. Don't trust anybody. But I always go in and I change it around a little bit so it's not different. And it might be personal. I kind of know a lot of our congressmen. I think that's an important thing too. I've got a new one to learn this year, a little bit different. But we do need to establish those relationships. A lot of us went down, and thank you for all coming. In fact, why don't we, everybody that went down today at the Capitol lunch, why don't y'all just stand for a second? Because it's not just one, there's a lot of people, and let's all give them a hand. We go down there, even when we don't meet with the congressman, we're forging relationships with these aides and so forth, which I feel a lot of times on this is just as important as meeting with the congressman, because these aides are really the gatekeepers who comes in and out those doors. So keep that in mind. Try to build those relationships both in Austin and back here. But it is important, as well as our contributions to these PACs. So anyway, with that being said, is there anything I forgot before we introduce our moderator today? Okay. All right, thank you again. We hope to see you all back very soon. All right. Today we got an exciting program for you, and let me at this time introduce Ed, and he'll introduce the rest of the members of the panel. Ed has been a member for many, many years. I don't know how many yet, but he, let me, I guess, read something. He leads Holmes Murphy National Advisory Group on healthcare reform. His extensive experience in managing administration, budgeting, planning of welfare benefits plans, and legal expertise enables him to offer a unique perspective on legislative and compliance issues affecting employment. Prior to Holmes Murphy, Ed served as Vice President of HR for a $400 million retail business with more than 100 locations nationwide. He was responsible for all aspects of HR and safety, including employment, labor unions, relations, salary, and benefit administration. Prior to that, he managed benefit plans for an employer with more than 10,000 active employees and 7,000 retired. Makes me tired. One retired doesn't know all this stuff yet. Ed holds a BS, and I hold a BS too, but a little different. BS in mathematics and computer sciences from Walsh University, and MBA and JD in corporate law from the University of Akron. He served as president of Dallas, of our Dallas Association here, and is on the Texas Association Board of Directors, and was the chair for DAHU's Legislative Council, and is on the National Kinsey Foundation. I've been with Ed to some other neat events, charitable events. Man is active, but more importantly, Ed is my friend and my mentor, and he keeps me straight. You think I'm bad here? I'd be a lot worse without this guy. So anyway, thank you, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Not on my bio, God works in strange ways. I have a horrible toothache. I've been playing phone tag with my dentist's office for a couple days now, and as I was walking up here, they called, right? So I'll have to wait another day probably. But anyway, thank you for being here. I don't want to belabor this point. We've talked about our PACs, both at the state and the national level. How many of you, this is an awesome group here today, you either have an interest in our industry or you have a very strange bucket list. So I appreciate you being here today. But how many of you in the room here are members of our association? Could you raise your hand? All right, keep your hands up now. If there's anybody around you not raising their hand, talk to them about what we do. Okay, I appreciate all the members, and we have a great membership chair, Doris Waller. She and her team is just doing a great job. I'm also Region 6, so we have about a 6-state region that I'm the regional vice president for. I'm on the national board of DAHU. None of you in the room are unaware of the fact that our industry is changing every single day. All right, there's a lot of people that think what we do needs to go away, along with private health insurance. And it's important that we stand up for what we do. The panel we have up here today is a very dedicated group. Our board's a very dedicated group. There's lots of folks around the country that represent you and in our industry. And it's very important when our congressmen at the state level or at the federal level look at our association. They look at how many members we have, and they look at how strong our PACs are to determine whether or not they should listen to us as constituents. So it's very important even if you don't get involved in a volunteer perspective, sign up, be a member. We provide great information. We're represented very well, both in Austin as our state legislators try to determine what we're going to do as a state, and at the federal level with our national lobbyists that we have in D.C. You get a lot of value for your membership, and I just can't encourage more. And I sound like I'm belaboring it, but if you want to stay in this business and you want to have a career for the foreseeable future, I suggest you consider that, and I hope you get involved. So end of my commercial. Want another one? I can get passionate about it. So today we're here to talk about association health plans. When President Trump was elected, one of his promises was he's going to provide alternatives, try to make alternatives to the current system of healthcare we have in the country. So he through regulation said, I want my administration to put out regulations on 3 main areas: short-term health plans, we heard a little bit about earlier today. Short-term health plans, HRAs, we're all eagerly awaiting the final regulations on HRAs, expanding them to large group, and then association health plans. He put that mandate out. We have almost all 3 of them done now. So we have the short-term health plan regulations are out. We have our association health plan, and we have the final, we're just waiting on the final component of the HRA regulation. So he delivered on that promise, and now it's up to us to execute on that. Association health plans, I will be honest, when we first heard that was going to happen, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we've done this, doesn't work, bad idea. But lo and behold, we're a very creative group, and we had at least one carrier and several others found ways to make this be a viable alternative. So association health plans have been around. The old association health plans have not been eliminated, right? So you still have, under the old rules of association health plan, they're pretty limited in their capability. Otherwise, we would have seen more of those flourishing, right? We have a couple that are out there that have been very successful, but they're somewhat limited in how they operate. When I first took the transition, I spent 20 years in human resources, and then came over to Holmes Murphy and started consulting, and got involved with a physician group. They said, we want to do a plan for all of our physicians. They're all independents. I said, oh, I got a great idea. Association health plan. I'm sure one of the carriers would love to work with us on that. I spent a lot of energy. I did get one carrier said, well, we'll try to talk to you. They're not in business anymore. We eventually put something together, and I think we got 4% off the book rates or an annual rates for an insured plan. It didn't go anywhere. And it's a challenge because who's going to take the risk, adverse selection? There's lots of challenges with the rules. So we haven't been very successful. But those that are out there can continue to operate under the current rules. The new rules came along, and by the way, the old rules, if you brought together a group of small, under 50 life employer groups into the plan, they had to follow all the old rules of the ACA. So you had all the old underwriting, all the old rules existed, even if you brought them into an association health plan. So what the new rules do will provide a little bit of flexibility around that. So they're interesting. They allow some different underwriting. They allow for both self-funded and fully insured components. Fully insured was the first one that came out. We'll see if, I don't know, maybe we'll learn from some of the panelists today if they've seen any self-funded models yet. I've seen or run across any under the new platform. I think some of the old platforms that are out there that have some pretty good sized associations are under self-funded model. But we'll learn a little bit more about that. We'll learn about how the state rules apply and what states have to say about how association health plans are run, and what else. I think that's about it. So with that, Don, our format is that we're going to have everybody speak individually and then do the panel, or is that the format? Okay. So with that, however I want to do it. Why don't you just have small group discussions and see what you came on. All right. And then we'll ask somebody to report out. Now, with that, Debbie Gilbert. There she is, right in front of me. And I want to say, I've got to hang on one second. Let me introduce our panel before I do this. So, and one thing I want to say, every person that's going to come up here is super dedicated to our industry. We have Jay Huminski. He's going to be on the panel up here today. Jay started his career quite a while ago. Let me just put it that way. He started a chapter in East Louisiana, joined Dallas again quite a while ago. Jumped into leadership in our local association here. I had the pleasure of working with Jay when he re-upped for president of our local association here. Just an awesome guy, very engaged, very smart. Has seen association health plans come and go in the past, so he'll provide us some great insight into those today. Let's see, he was a producer with IPS Advisors, formerly Insurance Partners Southwest, specializing in mid and enterprise-sized clients, and IPS was recently purchased by DAHU, so we're glad to have Jay on board, graduate of Purdue University and an Army veteran, so thank him for his service for our association and our country, so thank you for that. Jennifer Stanley will be on our panel. Jennifer is an attorney. I've got to read this thing. It's like the longest title. I think she must have a 8.5 by 11 business card. She's a legislative and health reform director for the National Center of Excellence for Employee Health and Benefits with Marsh. Jennifer's awesome. We are so fortunate to have her. She's one of our newer members of our board, relatively, but she's jumped right in. She's got engaged both at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level. Very knowledgeable and provides great advice to both our members and to her clients. So glad to have her on board here. And Debbie Gilbert, again, very active in our industry for a long time, as many of us have been. Her agency was established in 2001. It's Innovative Insurance Solutions. She's the president of that firm, focuses on small, mid-sized markets for employee benefits, Medicare, and individual markets. And I think property casualty, I'm not mistaken, no property casualty. Okay, no fancy, so don't go to her. But everything else. She's an active member of our national association. She's been involved with Dallas and Fort Worth, and at the state level. She's a HUPAC and DAHU contributor, as well as a long-term member of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce. So, thus, some of our discussion we'll have today will be around that. So, we're passionate about our industry, and we're very fortunate to have her today on our panel. And then, Radonna, who I haven't met yet. There she is, okay. Thank you, Radonna Hessel. Great. She's our guest. She's the CEO of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce. Drive through Grapevine every day to go to work. Position she held since 2008. She's served in 5 different communities around the state of Texas since 1990. She completed the Institute of Organizational Management at SMU and Oklahoma University, graduating in 1997. She has her CCE, which is the Certified Chamber Executive designation, and the Grapevine Chamber, outstanding chamber, received the designation as a 5-star accredited chamber by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in 2015. So great leadership work there. She served on the executive board of the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executive Association, 2017 chamber of the oldest state chamber in the United States. She was selected to the board of the association in 2015, where she continued to serve. She was the president of the North Texas Chamber of Commerce Executives Association. She serves on the board for the Texas Association of Business, TAB, another great organization, as the vice chairman of governance. Let's see, what else? She's got a lot here. And so most recently, she continues her education. She's on the board of the Northeast Leadership Forum. In 2018, she completed the Leadership for Texas program. So, boy, she's busy. All right. Am I missing anything else? Very good. All right. With that, so the way we're going to do this, since I'm in charge of the format, we're going to have each of the panelists give a quick talk to the microphone and then take their seats. So we'll start off with Debbie talking about overview of association health plans, and then we'll have Jennifer talking about the MIWA and how that might impact the association health plan, how that plays a role, and then we'll talk, and Jay give us a little brief history on what he's seen in association health plans, and then we'll have them join us up here for a Q&A session. Does that work? All right, Debbie. You want to just do a panel? All right, well, come on up here. All right, well, then let's just go on up. We'll just do a panel.
You got overruled.
Not overruled, I like that.
Oh, yeah. We have a couple people volunteer spotters to stand behind our panel. On your table is a note card. So if you have a question, isn't covered by our discussions here, if you can take that and write your note and then wave it in the air and someone will bring it up to us up front here. So we'll do this in a panel, but Debbie, maybe if you can talk a little bit about association health plans, why they're a little bit different than they are before, and kind of where we've seen them developing at.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
No? Okay, so I'm just going to expound on where I think Jay was talking, is that we were all here, I think, most of us, pre-ACA with the association that were basically trade associations. We all know that that was a downhill spiral in most cases. But where we are now is that, with the Trump administration announcing the introduction of the new AHPs, is that we have, let's see, 5 across the nation, with 1 being statewide association plan. Is that correct? I'm deferring to Mark Bellin back to back just to make sure all my answers are correct. And the way that these all have been put together is basically that we still are on the same premise of how the association health plan works. It's small groups that all come under one association, being the chamber, and are going into this for insurance programs. Insurance rates, the way that they were before, they were all based on, prior product selection. Basically, is that we had pre-ACA medical underwriting existed. Rates based on age, gender, demographics, and the census. Now with an association plan, the ratings are a lot different the way that they're done. Yes, we're based on age, we're based on demographics and the census, but we're in the large group market. So large group, we can rate based on age, gender, which is huge in the association plans. No medical underwriting, no pre-existing, SIC code, and zip code. Am I missing? Am I good? Okay. Okay. Group size, that's right, and on group size. So these rating factors are going to have a lot to do with how the association plans work and how the group is rated. How else do you want me to turn on this?
Perfect. So they get to operate like a large group plan, but they can be offered to small group.
Correct.
Now they're not restricted to small group. Many of the products that are offered today are restricted to the small group market. That's by design, but they didn't have to be. So the association health plan rules actually would let large groups join an association health plan, but you start getting into some anti-selection issues, and so therefore the smart people that have gone into that space have kept it to small group where you can compete and make sure your pool stays healthy. So awesome. Jennifer, you want to talk a little bit about state oversight and MIWAs?
Hi, Jennifer Stanley. So am I on? Yes. The association health plans are MIWAs. Not all MIWAs are association health plans, but all association health plans are MIWAs. That means that they are required to do the the N1 filing, Form 5500 filing. That means that they are regulated by the state, and that, okay, I'm not old to this industry. I'm not quite old to this industry. So what I'm saying is there is a generation of people who don't know the atrocities of the old association health plans. So when I heard that this was going to be offered, the Trump administration was trying to find a way to make insurance more attractive and more viable for small employer groups, I thought this was awesome. I still think it's going to be awesome because another alternative to that small group, I'm sorry, I'm going off script. Another alternative to small group health coverage was a small employer not offering health insurance and sending those employees off to the marketplace to find their own, giving them a HRA now if they could. Sarah, of course, Texas didn't know if that was good or bad. So, and it allowed owners to participate in a group health plan, not just a group health plan, but get the benefits of being part of a large group health plan, so that they don't have to be subject to all those, to a couple of the ACA mandates, namely the mandate that small groups in digital market offer essential health benefits, and on the modified community rating. So getting rid of those two things for the working owner. Now, what is a working owner? A working owner is somebody who works 20 hours or more a week, or 80 hours or more a month, or derives enough of their compensation for that particular job, enough to cover the cost of coverage or more. So that's to that an employer can be both an employee and an employer, a working owner, class of one, party of one. So again, I thought this was a great idea because besides being in the small group market or going to the individual market, another thing that consumers were creative too, were joining the healthcare sharing ministries. Okay, I know the people that are in them, and they're not necessarily horrible either, but they are insurance. So there's a risk there too. So again, all that to say, being part of the new regime, I don't know the gloom and doom of the past. I think these things have, a viable option. I think they can succeed. There are parameters in place to prevent the HIPAA non-discrimination. Something different about the new AHPs is they cannot take each employer group and underwrite. They have to underwrite as a whole, experience as a whole. They cannot engineer that on a health factor. They can, however, charge different premiums based on bona fide classifications, which could also be if you have a group of eye doctors and a group of dentists in this association health plan. The premiums could differ based on, that's probably not a great example. Sorry, I have a dentist appointment next week, so it's the first thing that came to mind. So yeah, it can be based on that, thank you. It can be based on the SIC. But it can straddle strict state lines. So another one of the naysays was you can't sell insurance across state lines because of state regulation. And the departments of insurance are worried that it's going to be a race to the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. I think there, again, are carriers that are carrier who is, offering benefits that do comply with states. There are some states, same in California, that has said, no, we're not doing this. They pretty much made it unattractive to join an association health plan if you, basically they said, you're still going to be subject to the small group requirements, and you can't be a sole proprietor. You still have the word owner also. If it sounds like I what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do a quick plug for DAHU. I listened to, okay, so I skimmed the almost 200 pages of regulations a year ago, 6 months ago. But then in preparation for this, I listened to the DAHU podcast. Janet Troutwine did one in June, and then there are 2 AHP webinars also available on DAHU. So if you are a member, go to the DAHU site, go to compliance, go to resources, search out AHP, and you can find tons of information and some really well designed AHPs. Okay, so I plugged in. I also do, I think I know what I'm talking about pretty much. Okay. So MIWAs, again, all AHPs are MIWAs. They are all going to be state regulated, even if they're self-funded. They do not get around the state regulation. They have to do the M1 filing, Form 5500 filings, and ACH and 94, 95 C filings. If they're a small group, they could possibly do a fee filing, but that is just flat on that. So all that to say, state and federal apply. There's waiting periods. Those apply. It's going to be run by the state mandate. I'm done.
Great. You know, that feature was something that was really important when they wrote the regulation, was to allow states to regulate and oversee these plans. If you can, I mean, it's unbelievable, I guess, with the regulation and oversight that goes on, but a very good friend of mine is the CEO of a business and called me last week, and he just went with the plan 1119, and he sent me a little notice that he received that the DOL had seized the assets of the MIWA he was participating in. They were underfunded, and so with that, our seasoned veteran, I'll refer to him as that, we may have experienced MIWAs prior to MIWAs being regulated by the state, and what he's seen in the past. So Jay, would you want to give us your thoughts?
I'm thankful that I left my walker at home. This room is so crowded, I wouldn't have been able to come up here as the ancient bearer of wisdom in the industry. I see a couple of you out there. Yeah, I've been around, and since the DOL released their final regulations on June 18th of 2000, or June 19th, 2018, you know, that was 85 pages of shock and dismay by me. And for those of you who did read it, half of that information was a warning of the past, and the other half of their information was a hopeful and doubtful outlook in the future of AHPs. You know, and when you look back in history, for those of you who were there, let me remind you of some things. In 1985, we had over 20 attorneys generals throughout the United States who banned or had cease and desist letters for MIWAs because of some of the problems. There were 968 civil enforcement cases, 317 criminal cases involving MIWAs, affecting over 3 million participants. The combined violations yielded $235 million in civil restoration and $173 million in court-ordered criminal restoration. So, as we look back, or as we're looking forward for these shiny opportunities out there of AHPs, let's not forget history. So those of you who are forming these AHPs, be earnest in the formation of these and don't go astray of your path. That's what happens to a lot of those. And I think as we look at changing the ERISA definitions of employers in order to accommodate AHPs, and I'm going to be rather colorful and militant in my descriptions, when we start changing laws to accommodate unforeseen things, we really start bastardizing our industry, frankly. And I don't think it's any different than the abortion laws in the state of New York right now. So As my marketing professor once said eloquently, buyer beware.
Wow, that was quite shocking.
My position on this board was to be the harbinger of death for AHPs. So I'm on the far bottom side of this discussion, and everybody else is on the top. So, you know, as a point, as agents in this room, mine is just a point of reference that you need to understand, as well as everybody else here is a point of reference. Our job as professionals in this industry is to provide every opportunity for our clients, okay, to fulfill their needs. If this is a need for our clients that's going to work, then by all means, that's our job. I'm just an opinion.
Hey, Jay, maybe we can pass that on. So the lawsuits, the failures of MIWAs in the past were the result of?
Well, we're the result of basically fraud. We're the result of insurance companies. It was a result of fraud by many of the people forming MIWAs. It was a result of companies just flat, hey, it was a great idea, but we need to get out of here as quick as we can. It was a tier, you know, from the risk carrier to the TPA to the person that started it. Somewhere in there, somebody was doing something wrong, and that's where all the fines and violations came from.
So is it not a result of bad claims experience, not being funded? Or is it the money was there, it was just getting pulled?
The not being funded was the bad claims experience is indicative of the AHP. Okay. And as we talk, and I've already heard it in the room before here, one of the problems was adverse selection. The other one was the carriers, the limited number of carriers willing to go out there and take the risk. And I still think that's going to be a problem. You know, in the early 80s, boy, everybody's out there trying to grab business. And Mutual of Omaha was one of the big ones. But boy, when it got to the late 80s, because I represented 4 AHPs as a broker trying to find business. In the late 80s, you couldn't find anybody willing to take that risk.
So, you know, just in short, I think if you think about it, you don't have to, you can have a MIWA. MIWAs are legal, okay? So if you can find somebody to underwrite it, that's always the challenge. But I could have unrelated businesses that come together to form a MIWA. One of the, you know, a MIWA and pull that insurance. If they're a small group, they have to still follow the small group underwriting rules of the ACA. So one of the things that these new rules allowed us to do is to escape from the burdens of the small group, you know, of the ACA and pull things together as an employer group. And I think maybe Radonna can talk a little bit about the structure, maybe, about the one you've offered, how it's the oversight and of the groups that belong to it and how that all comes together.
Okay, so I get to follow the doom and gloom, so thank you. The way I got involved into your world, which I now know more about insurance than I ever wanted to know in my entire life, in fairness, was the Lubbock Chamber had an insurance plan several years ago that we had an opportunity to learn about, and in their location it worked for them because of, you know, limited hospitals, limited access. But they were looking to make a change, and when the president signed his executive order, they worked with United Healthcare to kind of transition from what they had into an AHP. At the same time, the Longview Chamber was doing the same thing for East Texas. I got involved because, and I love my friend Eddie in Lubbock, but the way that the Lubbock Chamber had done it was they had 30 some odd counties that were a part of their AHP, and to take part in it, you had to go through one broker and you had to join the Lubbock Chamber. And I was concerned in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, I don't know if you all know this, but there's about 120 chambers in the Dallas-Fort Worth region. And I have been in the business for 29 years, and I did not want to see that happen in our region because I felt like it would be, it would start off as a negative. I tell people I'm kind of the mama of the chamber world because I've been in it for so long and I want every chamber to be successful. And so I talked with Debbie. She kind of brought United Healthcare to me as, would you be interested in doing this? My comment at the time was I wanted all chambers and all businesses to benefit. My focus was on giving my small businesses a choice and an opportunity to save money and to cover their employees. That's what I heard all the time. And so I was looking at what can we do. I was at the chamber years ago when there was, former plans, and so I knew that it could be a benefit. And there were other chambers in front of me that had already talked with Mark. But I think, and I'm assuming, sorry, I think a lot of them were looking at the Lubbock model, and they came back to me and said, if you're serious, if you want all chambers, all communities to be able to participate, we want to work with you. So we weren't in it to, just make a ton of money. We are in it to help our small businesses have a benefit. And so that's what we did. We used the Texas co-op laws. That was a benefit to the state of Texas. Some other states are still looking at doing it, but their laws in their states are a little bit more difficult to create the group. In the state of Texas, we have co-op laws, and we were able to, in a matter of weeks, create a co-op. We kind of did a little bit backwards. We created the co-op first, then we reached the agreement with United Healthcare. We went with United Healthcare, in fairness, because they were the only ones out there at the time offering to do it. But it's a plan that's there. It's a company that's secure, and we know that what they're offering, we're assuming what they're offering is going to be around for a long time, and that they honor their commitments to their insurers. So that was kind of how we got started. And what we did is send out the notice to all of the chambers in the region. I will say my region, I started out, I wanted 4 counties because that's where my businesses are from. I have 1,200 businesses who are members of my chamber, and they're Dallas County, Tarrant County, Collin, and Denton. That was originally what I wanted. Collin started their own at HP separately. But by the time I realized where Lubbock's had come over to, where Longview's had come over to, we realized there's about 28 counties in the middle. And if we took the center, there was going to be some counties on the outside edge that were not going to be able to be a part of our region. So we went from having 4 counties to 28 counties. There's 128 chambers in that region. I sent out an email saying if you want to participate. So we created the co-op with, now we have 40 chambers that have joined. And our only requirement is that to be a part of the co-op, the agent has to be a part of a member chamber of the co-op. And to be a part of the co-op, the business buying insurance has to be a member of the chamber of a co-op, So they don't all have to join Grapevine. They can join, hopefully their local chamber is a member and they join, and Fort Worth is a member, and Arlington is a member, and Cedar Hill and Balch Springs, and there's like I said, lots, and we think there'll be more.
So just as so United Healthcare, it's a fully insured product, right? So a lot of the questions coming up here, well, what's going to keep this from failing? The ones that failed were self-funded, right? For the most part, they weren't fully insured products. So we haven't seen, there's a whole lot of folks jumping on the self-funded association health plan wagon yet. I think they'll probably have the same success I had when I tried to bring my doctors together. Like, who's going to underwrite this thing? Where's the money going to come from? So it's fully insured. For Donna, who oversees it? Because there's a requirement that there's a board of members, or how does yours work?
There is a board. So we just started this in November, and so we're still in the growing pains stages, I guess you'd say. We had to, through the co-op, we had to create a board. It's a separate entity. The chambers that have joined the entity, they will be, we're actually meeting in March, and then we're meeting again in, I think it's June, and they'll be formulating, we created a quasi-board when we started just because we had to have something on paper, but we wanted to, you have to find out who's going to join before you can create. So we're in the process of building our board. It'll be an independent board of those that are members, and they'll oversee it. We tried to make it as simple as possible, but knowing that we want to be able to keep it available.
Jennifer?
Okay, so just business purpose, which is very loosely defined. Could be marketing, advertising, it could be lobbying, anything, whatever business purpose. But then they have to be oversought by governing bodies such as the court, so that there's governance and taking into account all the insured people's best interests. I was going to ask, with this also comes through the ERISA obligations, such as providing summary plan descriptions, summary benefits and coverage, uniform glossaries. How are y'all distributing those to the participants of each?
So again, working with United Healthcare, so they've helped to provide that. So we created a website. We provided the information. You know, I'm a Chamber of Commerce exec. I'm not in your world. God love you all. And so, you know, for us, they go through the agent. We provide them with a list of the agents within our chamber that sell. So we direct them directly to the agents that are members of our chamber to sell, and they're provided the plans we did create. Debbie can talk to this a little bit. We looked at all of the plans that are offered to businesses that have more than 100 employees. That was what was really cool when I first started. People were saying, oh, it's just a skinny plan, you know, it's not going to be a good plan, etc. And so we got to sit in on the agents meeting when United Healthcare kind of unveiled this to the agents. And every agent was so excited because they were basically taking the plans that are set up for 100 plus employees, and they're now being able to offer these to businesses that are below 50 employees. So it's not skinny plans, it's not, you know, skinny networks, it's actual plans that are there. So we were excited. I mean, that was the piece that we felt. These are plans that, you know, the Gaylord Texan is able to get because of size, and now Good Things for All Seasons on Main Street in Grapevine is able to get it because of size. So we use the region to create a co-op. The co-op is created by the region, and the larger we can make this co-op in this group, the more opportunity we have for lower rates. And so we are looking forward to that. And I will also add, just while I have the mic, because I'm a chamber person. There you go. So I am, as was said in my bio, on the TAB board, Texas Association of Business Governance Chair. Was recently at a TAB board meeting, had a little bit of conflict of interest because another group, company, was presenting to the TAB board to set up a statewide, basically same thing, statewide plan. What was I know United Healthcare may not like this, but what was good for me, while they said, well, we won't compete with other chambers. Well, of course we were, because we have a co-op and they have one where we're compete. But I think competition is good. So I think if another, insurer comes in and starts offering it, just kind of, helps with that competition.
Yeah, just as a point of order to my excellent panel here, if we could avoid using any particular vendor names to make sure we don't get into CE credit problems. So we'll just talk in generic about other carriers and chambers and so forth, so we could do that. And then one of the questions that came up here was 1095, who produces it? Since it's a small group insured, the carrier would provide the 1095 that said I had coverage for the time period. And since the groups are all small groups, they're not required to do the employer reporting. So that part's taken care of under the existing association health plan we have today. If that changed and we got one with a large group, then the employers would still have their own reporting requirement that they would have.
Don't you have to report?
Well, I think the individual report that you have, I don't know. But anyways, the members would get fully insured 1095.
So as a broker and coming from the happy side.
Can you now hear me? Okay. As a broker and coming from the happy side of a broker, I have to say that, back in the 90s, I did have an AHP with a trade. It was a large trade association. And I was the agent for that association, that AHP. And the reason that association went defunct was not from fraud and not from anything like that. it was because of, again, adverse selection. And what happened is that, you've got, small groups within this large group. Well, we've got people that get sick, and adversely those rates start going up. And then you've got the healthy groups with healthy people on it that say, we want to get out of here because our rates are getting too high. Because they can go out, remember, ACA, they can go out and they can get non-medical loaded rates and pay less money for health insurance. I truly believe that is a lot of the reason for the downhill spiral for the pre-AHPs. I mean, these are not grandfathered AHPs. And as a broker, I can tell you, 32 years in this industry, that I'm going to do whatever I can innovatively for my clients to give them options that are going to work for them, their employees, and their budgets. And that's my job, and that's what I have to come up with is solutions. So when I heard about this and had done it in the past, and dabbled with the chamber previously when they were trying to build an association and just falling apart, as we're down the road, I jumped on it because I knew that this was something that Grapevine, alone, they wanted to do. So within working with the carrier, because I'm being mentioned carrier, I worked with them, introduced them to Donna, we put everything together. I mean, the carrier and the chamber and all that was done, unbeknownst to me. That was, back here. But I had to sit down and go through, we all have seen the grid of all the mid-market, large group plans, 50 plus, and I had to pick, 35, 40 plans that I knew were good, and they were there. These plans, y'all, we got 35 plans. We've got everything from premier to lower deductibles, higher deductibles, HSAs, EPOs, PPOs. We've got all the plan options that these AHPs can use. So we've got a good selection of plans. So I think that was good. I know that, I've written, one group already with them. Not every single group is going to meet the criteria for an AHP. And this is important as brokers, you need to realize this. Fourth quarter rolled out, and I had 50 groups going through AHP quoting, and it was nuts. And we were trying to get these quotes out. Fourth quarter madness, it was nuts. And all these people were coming back, and the rates weren't proving to be better than your ACL rates. And the question is, well, what's happening? Why are these AHP rates not better? Well, only 50% of these groups are gonna really work because it's all based on the rating. And so when you as brokers, when you take a look at your groups and your clients, you have to look at the demographics of these groups and say, okay, are they male predominant? What is their age? What is the SIC? You have to look at all of this and really, again, is use your expertise. And I would never, ever miss, an option to show them all their options. So if they want an AHP, great. Show them those rates, even though it may not look good, but I would also show them those fully insured small group rates to make sure that you're giving them all the options, because it isn't going to work in all cases.
Great. Yeah, we have lots of questions, and I think what Debbie just mentioned is pretty critical. There's a couple critical components. Almost all of the questions are like, how is this sustainable? What's the protection? First of all, fully insured. Big issue there, right? Self-funded is a whole different world. Who's left holding the bag in a self-funded plan? Fully insured is a completely different world, right? Second of all, you're playing in a small group market that's already regulated in underwriting. So anybody can get a plan without pre-existing condition. How old are you? Right? So we can all go buy plans today in the small group market. Actually, an association health plan gets extra criteria. They can now do gender, as was mentioned earlier. They can also deal with SIC codes. They're not restricted to the 3-to-1 age banding. So there's lots of underwriting that can go on within these plans to make it so that some groups will like what they see and other groups will not like what they see. So I think in at least the current models, now I think all the concerns Jay raised about a self-funded plan comes back again if we see anybody brave enough to offer a self-funded model. We'll see if that happens. They've been available before this, so it hasn't been a big rush to that space, but at least that How about, either Debbie or Don, talk about, is there a restriction when I join, do I have to stay in for 10 years, or can I get out next year? What's my requirement to stay involved with this plan?
So who are you talking about, the business or the?
Businesses that say, I want to bring my employees into this.
No, it's a normal insurance program, so it's not, for the chambers, it is, there's a 2-year commitment, because we had to get it on the ground and, committed, but not for the business.
Well, I would imagine you've got to remain a member.
Sorry, to be part of the group, you have to be a part of the chamber, so that is a requirement. So if they drop their chamber membership, they can lose their insurance, so that they are not told that up front. If they drop their chamber membership, then they could lose their insurance, because that makes them part of the group. Any time of year, of course it can. So I just yesterday signed a chamber that wanted to be a part. So anytime a chamber wants to join, they can. And a lot of chambers are joining because their agents are finding out about it, and because their agents are wanting to be able to sell the plan. So, and then if they contact me, we direct them to their closest chamber of commerce. Hopefully you all should be members of your local chamber of commerce, just saying. So hopefully they're already a member of a chamber that's a part of the group. Sorry, I didn't.
Jay, go ahead.
One of the concerns I had, when you read the DOL letter, it talked about the inability to monitor migration of population in and out of an insured program. So saying that these people can come onto a plan and leave at any time is one of the main problems that got the individual major medical marketplace. And within the DOL letter, it mentioned the loss of business or the instability of both the MET small group market and the individual marketplace. So COB determined that individual rates alone would increase 4 to 5% by states offering AHP programs. So, I have to look at one, the carrier insuring the risk on the AHP, allowing this migration on and off the plan, and also looking at the destabilization of the other marketplace. This doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy about the AHP. But again, I'm the harbinger of death. There's a gentleman in the back, I'm not sure who he works with. Mark, you have a comment?
Yes. As we all know, what ACR did to small business was they compressed the rates. Remember the good old days where it was a guaranteed issue with 67% low, max load, it was guaranteed issue, right? Well, so you have 7 times difference between top to bottom back then. ACR did this. They brought it here. Now, balance is really a function of subjective point of view. You can be balanced 7 to 1. You can be balanced 3. What we're doing here is giving lower rates to better demographic groups. One of the biggest issues in insurance is cost, but not the biggest issue. It's probably the main reason that small employers don't have health insurance. In fact, only 32% of small employers under 50 in the state of Texas offer health insurance. And it's because of cost. What these programs, along with things like wealth funding do, is that they expand that bandwidth. And certainly Jay is right. It will raise ACR rates as better risks come down and get better rates. And listen, most of my actuaries say the most stable environment you can have is when you have the right rate for the right demographics. I would argue that the current situation actually distorts the rates for the demographics, and it actually provides instability and makes it more difficult for small employers to get coverage. What programs like this do is it brings us closer, not exactly where we were before, closer to where we were before, giving more opportunities for their small groups, and quite frankly, more options for you as a broker.
And the harbinger of death. The term cherry picking came out of the 1980s too, and that's where the multiple employer trusts, small groups, METs started to segment the risk. And as those of you who remember, you couldn't, if you had a hair salon, you couldn't insure it. You had a dog groom, you couldn't insure it. If you were a doctor in a lawyer's office, your rates absolutely suck. That's what happened, and it got to a point where groups really got frustrated and started seeking regulation in order to control this. So as an industry, do we try to monitor ourselves, or do we look to Capitol Hill for an answer? Okay, that last one was not a question that needs to be answered. But all these alternatives that are out there, and yeah, market, that's a perfect solution for young virgins. It gives them really low rates, but what happens to us old folks with dirty industries, according to Underwriters? What? I was young once. And I was one of those young, uninsured skydiver motorcycle racers too. So, my mortality and morbidity rationalization wasn't even there. But remember, we're in the insurance industry, an actuarial science. We rely on the law of large numbers in order to spread risk and make it more affordable. Is the AHP an alternative that helps destabilize our industry?
I think it's gonna, can it not destabilize one segment and yet stabilize another? That's what I would posit.
It's getting deeper
I mean, yes, you're gonna destabilize the individual market, which, again, new in the world, but all I heard in the world was the individual market destabilized. So, that seems like a status quo, and you're just moving the insured risk around, and then you're also creating a larger pool. How many insureds do you think you have in that chamber plan?
On statewide,
That's a pretty good number.
less.
But it's 200 significantly more than 30.
All right, let's get back to our question. One I'll deal with. What about using captives for association health plans? Not necessary. Captive actually allows you to have unrelated companies come together. They all take their own risk, and it allows you to pull that and avoid the MIWA rule. So we're not in a captive discussion here today. Maybe a follow-up about captives, but not necessary for association health plan. Could be, but I'm not sure. That you just add another level of complexity and cost by doing that to what you have here. How do they handle no loss, no gain? I assume that means when I move from one plan to another. Well, it's fully insured, so there's no run out. None of that matters today because it's fully insured. So we don't have that issue today. My guess is anybody here going to start a self-funded association health plan? Okay, that issue would come up if that was the case, but for now, we probably won't have that. Maybe if you talk a little bit about the mechanics. Is it COBRA or state continuation apply?
Yes.
And let me ask one more question, and you guys can answer these questions. And can an agent be a chamber of one county and sell a plan to somebody who's a member of another chamber? How are the chambers playing together as far as who has to be where to sell or offer a plan?
So as long as the agent is a member of one chamber of the co-op, okay, because this is the North Texas co-op, then that agent can sell to any company that's in that co-op. Okay. What was the other one? COBRA. Again, we're in the large group market. So the small group has now become, they're now COBRA. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
They're COBRA, correct? Okay. Then you can defer back to United because that's the way.
COBRA is there's no guidance directly on point as to whether these groups will be small or large for purposes of COBRA. And as far as them being eligible to participate in the AHP, if I am on COBRA today, I cannot be part of tomorrow's association health plan. rules are written, I don't know if carriers are doing it differently, but I guess I could. But as the rules are written, I cannot now, if I am part of an association health plan today and have a COBRA qualifying event tomorrow, I can remain on the AHP plan. So, I will say that again. For COBRA, if I am on COBRA today, I cannot be on tomorrow's AHP. You have to be a participant in the AHP before you turn to be on COBRA. That's the distinction. I cannot be on COBRA and I can't take my COBRA with me. So, and that's where there hasn't been guidance. So who is handling the COBRA responsibilities when that happens? And
The COBRA responsibilities are on the carrier. And yes, what Jennifer is correct is that the employee, that the group, the employee, whoever would need to be on that plan, on that AHP in order to get COBRA if they terminated the next day. But that is a good question, and I'm going to defer back to whatever carrier reps in this room is how would that work with you?
Question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You have that situation, right?
That's a different situation.
I do have a couple interesting questions here. Okay, we have time. Are the Texas mandates, do they apply to these plans?
yes.
And, okay, good. That was
And
easy
that's
answer.
because it's again, state, it's a new law, which is regulated by the state.
And if I have employees, if I belong to the chamber, and I have a small group, and I have employees that live in other states, are they also eligible to be on the plan?
That principal business of the.
Okay, you had a comment?
What was the
Yeah.
answer?
Yes, principal place of business is determined, of the AHP.
Yeah, that's how they expanded that definition.
Is-
And allowed the selling across state lines.
Is there a national chamber that we know of, or group that's selling across states? Anybody knows of?
I think they're.
Do you know of anybody? Audience
That's
participants?
very difficult to do, because you have to have reciprocal agreements between states to do it, even though the executive order opens the door for it. It's really difficult to do. We've had conversations about just the novel idea of having a Texarkana across the border thing, but then that's working with our Kansans, and definitely not working with Oklahoma. But it's really, it's possible, but is it probable? Probably not at the moment, where there's a lot to do to make that happen.
Going back on the COBRA question, even the DOL letter said that the issue of COBRA is almost dependent on who forms the AHP, and they do not have, the Department of Labor does not have a definitive answer as to whether it's COBRA or not.
Our legal counsel says that, if you're in this, even though you're under 20, you're a large group, you're getting COBRA. So this is where you depend upon agents, right? This is why you have to have educated agents to inform you, because this is a different process as a result.
Debbie, can agents earn commissions on this product?
Just to be clear, technically, the ones that exist right now from that said carrier, it's service fee. As a real, one of the things we didn't talk about that the folks in this room understand is when you're a large group, there's a big difference between MLR, right? When you're under 50, MLR is 80. When you're over 50, it's 85. So as a result, because of compression of margins, et cetera, AHPs, at least the ones that exist today, are on a service fee basis, which are equivalent to the small business commissions that exist today.
Rosanna, if I have a group that's a member of your chamber, and I have a hemophiliac that shows up in my claims for the year, can I be non-renewed?
No.
What was the question?
If I have a hemophiliac or other large claimant on my plan, can I be non-renewed in the second year?
No. No.
Harbinger, yeah.
Has experience.
Yeah, the experience of the entire HP determines, obviously, what the rates are. Again, I referred to migration of population. So as the experience in the group starts to deteriorate and those healthier business entities within the AHP start to leave, now you have a deteriorating loss ratio, which the experience of the early 80s indicated a flood of people out causes an increased loss ratio, and now this is where the AHPs that I work for were struggling to try to find risk carriers to cover the risk for their plan in the future.
Well, no, but now you're sending them back to the smaller individual markets.
Well, no, we're not sending them back. The exoduses are seeking lower costs, which they found because they were healthier, and the unhealthier ones because of adverse selection state.
And if I may, I mean, things are a little bit different now. This isn't your grandfather's age.
That's okay. I have 3 grandchildren.
In the olden days, the AHPs were being selected again because you're dealing with a medically underwritten market with a medically underwritten AHP, right? And certainly young people can get sick. The difference here is both markets are still not medically underwritten because AHPs are not medically underwritten in the UGO forms based on the executive order. The difference here is demographically. They are positively selecting off the market on better demographics. Now, certainly, young people, just as old, get very sick. The key here is getting the numbers, the volume, the law of large numbers. On average, they should perform better than the larger, than the group, the pool that doesn't select demographically like the HPs.
Mark gets really bold when he notices I'm not caring.
Okay, question for the panel. Let's go back to the COBRA for a second. So we've established there's a COBRA obligation. So those of us that deal with COBRA, a large group, there's an initial COBRA notice. There's who do I tell if I have a change of family status, or divorce, or someone turns whatever, 26 or whatever. Who handles the COBRA, those COBRA obligations and notice obligations within the A?
So again, a group that is in the AHP is still, it's still a MIWA, it's still an employer. The employer is still responsible for their own COBRA. They can use UBS, which is the system that the carrier uses to help them with their COBRA, or they can find their own administration company, or they can do it themselves.
So if I'm an individual, I join an association health plan, I send myself a letter.
Individual or group.
I know, but I join. I'm part of a association health plan that's a MIWA. I'm part of a large group. Do I send myself a letter saying I offer myself COBRA? Did you fire yourself? Well, I'm an employer because you fired an employer. So,
Yes.
so do I do that? Each person who joins, person or business.
There's no individual, but you're right. One employee owns the group. Yeah, I mean, you got to follow the overall.
So if I have 3 people working for me, I'm the employer. I have 2 people working for me, and they're my wife and my daughter. I send them COBRA letters.
Yes, you have to follow them.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I want to backtrack a little bit to what Mark was saying a minute ago, and Jay, what they were addressing on the market segment committee with the using higher rate bands. First of all, the market that we've got right now that's outside of the AHPs is already very much in trouble in the smaller side. And it's because the way that segment is done with those 3 H bands is the cause.
Underwriting.
For rate increases. Okay? So we got that going on. And so why is that not a good thing, Jay? If we're doing over here with what they're doing to help change the market, to force this market back into where it should be, because the market we have now is artificial. It's forced us back up.
Are you saying 3 bands, why is that not a good thing?
I'm saying the 3 bands is not a good thing because of the way they're skewing.
Yeah, you're right, but 3 bands is not a good thing because that caused a problem with adverse selection because that compression was good for us old fogies, but it was really bad for the young people, which we needed those young people on the risk. So that was a big ACA problem.
Right, and so that's why with what we're doing now, on these AHPs, we're making a change for the better that will actually stabilize that part of the market and will force this part of the market to change, or cause legislation to change so we can fix it.
Well, yeah, and you just said what the problem was with the change. So, the compression was great for us old folks. Now reverse it. Now that widening the bands from 5 to 7, now the old folks are going to get justifiably screwed because we deserve it. We're the unhealthy people anyway, right?
All right, thank you. All right, so I think we're about up with time. How about a hand for our great panel? If you need CE credits, I assume you need to make sure you sign in and do that. If anybody wants to become a member of our association, we'd love to talk to you. And if you have ideas, we'd love to see this crowd every month. If you guys have subjects you'd like to hear from us on, let us know. We'd love to find some subjects to bring you all back. Thank you very much for your time today.
One minute before we adjourn the meeting, hang on. Thank you, panel, again. Thank you, members. We have a drawing, I think, number 1. Don't forget, our next meeting is our expo on March 26th. And as Carolyn makes her way up here, this is a drawing for a little $50 gift card. Hello? The last 3 numbers are 636. 636. The president wins if nobody else is president. Okay, let me, 636, we're moving on.
What's up, homeboy? How are you, man? Good to see you again. Yeah. To get that all. Kind of like. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I got an email, I guess, from Facebook saying